Russia's invasion of Ukraine failed to produce the quick victory that Vladimir Putin and indeed the wider world expected. Kyiv did not fall in days, as everyone assumed. The Ukrainian government survived, but this should not be as surprising as it once seemed. The mistake of assuming a rapid, decisive victory is one that military leaders and warring states have made since ancient times. Sun Tzu cautioned leaders who thought of uncomplicated victories that the worst policy of all is to besiege walled cities, and that there is no instance of a country having benefited from prolonged warfare. Putin, like so many wannabe conquerors before him, failed to heed these warnings, and by March 2022 found himself in a prolonged war of attrition. No single decisive battle would end this war. Exhaustion from equipment losses and casualties would. It's now been over 2 years since the invasion began, and both sides have suffered from the latest instance of protracted warfare. But how many casualties have both sides taken since February 24, 2022? And how do these casualty figures tie into the ability of each of the warring countries to carry on the hostilities and walk away with a victory? First, it's helpful to remember that casualties do not equal people being killed in action. Casualties not only include those killed, but also wounded, captured, or missing. In 2021, Ukraine's population was about 44 million people. Russia's 2021 population was about 143.4 million, a figure 3.2 times as large. According to the Global Firepower Index, as of 2024, Ukraine has an available manpower of about 22 million, with 15.4 million fit for service and 476,000 reaching military age annually. Russia has 69.4 million, 46.4 million, and 1.2 million in each respective category. 2 years of war in Ukraine have produced hundreds of thousands of casualties in a combined total, but trying to determine more specific figures than that is a little trickier. For understandable reasons, both sides are reluctant to release their data. Looking at the size of the respective armies is a good way to start. Before Russia invaded, Ukraine had about 300,000 personnel between its regular armed forces and paramilitary troops. The war has swelled Ukraine's forces to about 2.2 million today, with an active duty force of 900,000. The rest are reserves and paramilitary forces, and not all of them are deployed at once. Russia, meanwhile, began the invasion with 190,000 troops. This was obviously not enough. By May 2023, after the partial mobilizations began, the number went up to 300,000, according to EU sources. By September, Russian forces in Ukraine had increased to 420,000, according to sources in Ukrainian intelligence. Russia's armed forces number 1.32 million active personnel, 2 million in reserve, and 250,000 paramilitary troops. Not all of these are deployed in Ukraine, as some of them need to patrol Russia's long borders, but more of the country's available troops have steadily been drawn in as the conflict continues.